Hello, my name is Hal Otey, and I am here to continue talking with you about all things retirement. And what we're going to talk about in this particular video is some of the important numbers that can really have an impact on your life as it relates to your retirement. So this is going to be a two-part video. So the first part, we're going to cover the first 5 numbers that I think are really important in helping you understand and get yourself in a position where you're going to be able to retire with some level of confidence. And as we've said in some of our other videos, I mean, our role in order to help our clients and help the different people that we coordinate with, people that are in their late 50s, early to mid 60s, who are pre-retirees, they're trying to plan for retirement, and what are some of the important things that they should be looking at. So the first number that you need to think about is, what is going to be the income that I'm going to need in retirement? The income I need to do the things that are important to me. And hopefully you've prepared well and you've paid down debt. You may still have a mortgage, but hopefully you've gotten rid of car payments and credit card debts, and you've positioned yourself in a way that you're not going to have a lot of ongoing debt in retirement. But if you do, that does also need to be part of those numbers that you think about. But you need to think about, what are the things that you want to do in retirement? Obviously, you can't travel all the time, but hopefully you're going to travel. Hopefully you're going to have, family members and people, friends that you want to visit. You may have grandchildren or children that live in different areas of the country that you want to spend time with and do things with. And, maybe golf, or, you're involved in your community or in charitable type programs, your church or whatever. So you've got things you want to do, but obviously you've got to eat and you've got to drive a car and you've got other things that you've got to do. So you've got to look at the different things that it's going to take for you to live comfortably, do the things you want to do, and how much is that going to end up being? So that's the first number. Now, the second number you really need to think about, and this is one that a lot of people forget about, is to factor in some type of inflation into your cost of living or into your lifestyle. Because if it takes you $5,000 a month to live today, what is it going to take you 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road to be able to still be able to live at a $5,000 today in today's lifestyle 10 or 15 years from now? Because it may cost you $6,500 or $7,000 a month to be able to live comfortably, in that time, because obviously the cost of things go up. The cost of living goes up, the cost of groceries, the cost of gasoline, the cost of travel, all the different things that make up our life and things that we do in retirement, they're going to continue to cost more. And the best way for you to get a concept of that is look back at your life. Look back 20 years, 30 years. And if I had told you that you would be making the kind of income you're making today 30 years ago, you'd have told me I was crazy. So, but you need to factor that in. You need to have a way to factor in a 2.5% or a 3% or a 3.5% inflation rate, so that you're going to be able to keep up with inflation over time, and so that your money will continue to work for you. You're going to continue to have an enjoyable retirement. So that's number 2. Now, the third number you need to think about is, how many more years is it going to be before I retire? Am I 1 year away from retirement? Am I 5 years away from retirement? How many years is it until I'm going to retire? And to then begin to look at, what have I done so far? How much money have I saved? What are the different things that I'm going to have to look at to make sure that I'm actually going to be ready when that day comes? So you need to figure out, how long is it going to take you before you're actually ready to retire? Now that, again, sounds kind of simple, but it's one of the things you need to look at. Okay, now the fourth thing you need to think about is, what are the different sources of non-investment income am I going to have in retirement? Now, let's face it, probably most everyone out there is going to have Social Security. Social Security is one of the foundational income sources that most everyone has, unless you work for a government agency where you opted out of Social Security. And that does happen. I mean, we're here in Memphis, and people that work for Memphis Light, Gas and Water, or work for civil service, or work for the railroad may have opted out of Social Security. But for most of us out there, Social Security is going to make up at least a portion of our retirement income. So you need to look and see what that's going to look like. You may need to look at some ideas of how you and your spouse coordinate that together to make sure that you're maximizing those benefits. Another possible source of income would be a pension. If you happen to be fortunate enough to work for one of the companies like Federal Express or International Paper or Kellogg or DuPont, or maybe the city school system or one of the government agencies like FERS or Civil Service, where you have a regular monthly pension benefit that they're going to pay you, more power to you. Very few companies have those anymore, but if that makes up a component of your retirement, you're going to be in much better shape than a lot. But if you don't have it, again, you need to look and say, well, what are the different sources of income that I have? A lot of the companies that closed down their pension plans went to something maybe like a portable pension, where they're putting money into a plan for you and you're going to get the accumulated benefit of that. Some people take annuity income, where they annuitize certain blocks of money. I know certain groups like TIAA-CREF and some of those will pay out an annuitized income. You may want to look at that more closely in today's low interest rate environment, because those annuity payouts are probably going to be fairly low, but that may be a source of income for you. So that's the fourth number you need to look at, is what are the non-investment sources of income that I'm going to have? And it might even be you're working part-time. Maybe you decided to, retire full-time, but you're going to pick up a part-time job, or maybe do some consulting work for, a few years into retirement, and that'll be a source of income for you. And then the fifth and final number of this segment of the video is, how much income am I going to need to pull from my supplemental sources, such as my 401ks, my 403bs, my savings accounts, my mutual funds, my stock portfolios, my IRAs, my Roth IRAs. Maybe I've accumulated money in annuities or other investment vehicles, but how much income am I going to need to pull from those to supplement my Social Security and possibly my pensions, so that I can have number one be the number I want to be, which is my lifestyle number, the income that I need to live the life that I want to live. So again, as I've said in prior videos, when we start looking at this concept of all things retirement, there's a lot of different pieces and components that go into making up what I like to refer to as a successful retirement, or at least a fulfilling retirement. And hopefully your retirement is going to be that way. But those are some of the numbers that you need to keep in consideration. And then on the next video that we do, we're going to look at another 5 numbers that are also important for making up a solid retirement. So make sure you click on the subscribe button below. Make sure you click on the notification bell so that you're notified of any new videos that we do. We're going to be talking about a lot of different concepts and ideas in order to help you make retirement better. So we look forward to seeing you in future videos. And again, for those of you that are interested in learning more about us, we will be posting some webinars at some point in time to help you see more of a bigger picture of what does it take to make a successful retirement, and how do you put all the pieces of that together so that you can live the life you want to live and do those things that are important and fulfilling to you in your life. So have a wonderful day.